Hello, welcome to this month's my deck picks. So I am changing up the format a little bit now that I have gone through my entire collection and sort of weeded out what's staying, what's going, and what's going in the limbo bin. With this week's selection, I'm going to talk very briefly sort of about the decks themselves, and then mostly about how I feel they worked together. And then I will end again with a card spread so you can see just how they read and what the guidebook is like. So I'm going to start with my tarot pick for this week. And it is the Spacious Tarot. So this guidebook is super simple. It's itty bitty. There's not a lot to it, but it does the job. So these are the cards, beautiful, beautiful matte cardstock. I edged mine in a dark blue. It's quite small, but I actually love this size. It's not too small, not too big, it's just right. And like I said, this cardstock is my favorite besides linen matte cardstock. So this is a beautiful matte. And like I said, it just shuffles like a dream. And the illustration, it is a bit pippish compared to other decks. It is nature-based. There are no humans in this deck. There are some animals. The system's a little different in terms of what they name the court cards. So the court cards are not page, king, queen. It's things like elder and guardian. That's a more subdued color palette, but I'm not going to talk too much about it here. I will talk more about it in regards to how it works with the other choices that I made. The second pick I made, so I like to choose one tarot and two oracle. I just like to work in the threes. I feel like they balance each other out side by side. So for one of the oracle picks, we have the Crystal Forests. This is also a very basic guidebook. It is full color though, which is lovely to have, but there's not a lot of information in it. So that is the guidebook. These are the backs. They came edged in this lovely rainbow sort of very soft pastel color scheme. The cardstock is a satin. That's what I call this sort of like glossy matte, but it's not gloss. It shuffles fine. There is a little bit of bowing to my deck. The cardstock is quite thick. I don't riffle shuffle, guys, so I don't know what it's like, but overhand it shuffles fine. And as you can see, the artwork revolves around trees. So that is the Crystal Forest. And then for my third pick for this month, I have the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle. I highly recommend actually reading this. So in the beginning, the author has this sort of section that's based on, you know, the seasons of your garden whilst living here in the Garden of Eden. And I highly enjoy her writing, so I highly recommend actually reading it before you get to the cards. So the card descriptions are 3 pages. They're quite substantial. I heavily modded this deck, ends in an affirmation. So the cards used to be quite big. The backs are varied watercolors in different shades of blues and greens with dandelions on the back. I edged mine in a metallic green. So they were quite big, and they included, I'll show you what they included. They included this part that you see right here on the actual card. So if you don't even want to read the guidebook, you do not have to. So I cut mine down, I rounded the corners, and I edged it. The cardstock is once again a satin. It's thinner than the other one, so it is more flexible. It is way more manageable for me to shuffle now that it's smaller, and the pictures are that of plants. So, and on the cards themselves, you'll have the name of the plant and one keyword to go with it. So let's have a look at them all together. So talking about this collection as a whole, if I had to pick one word to sum up the combined personalities of these decks, it would be Sitharism. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it means the sound of wind whispering through the trees. The American poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow described the sound in A Day of Sunshine. I hear the wind among the trees, playing celestial symphonies. I see the branches downward bent, like keys of some great instrument. These decks, for me, allow for what is unknown to be heard, quietly, softly, and ever so gently. The colours are subdued, either in tone or through the strokes of the ethereal watercolours. They are quite pleasing in their hue and their form. They work really well together, bestowing their wisdom like a gentle breeze touching lightly upon your skin, offering guidance without insistence. The shadow is there, but it is dulled by the benevolent tone of the messages. The Spacious Tarot brings calm grounding, while the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle stirs up a spring-like energy. The Crystal Forest rests between the two, a balance of yin and yang. So I think they work wonderfully together, and they do have that very still water-like and earth-like quality to them. So they're very Gaia-esque, and they are really filled with a tranquil quietness, and I absolutely love my time with them. It really helped me to sort of embody in this physical realm, whilst I still felt my spiritual side was catered for. So now I'm going to read to you from the guidebooks. I've just done a little spread here, and I've done mind, body, spirit. So a sort of traditional 3-card spread. And for the mind, I got my favorite card in this deck. It is the card that sold me on this deck. I absolutely love the viewpoint for the Hanged One. I think this is gorgeous. So in mind, we've got the Hanged One. Alternative perspective, surrender, liminality. The Hanged One drops you into infinite different perspectives. This image is inspired by the NASA photo Earthrise, and you certainly have a new view of all that unfolds on the Earth when you view it from the moon. Gravity is defied and assumptions are turned sideways and upside down. This reframing may be a bit strange at first, but ultimately it offers you a broader understanding of your story. If you find yourself in a challenging situation, the Hanged One asks what might happen if you surrender. We spend so much energy trying to cling and control. How might your energy transform if you release your normal filters of awareness? This card invites you to explore liminal spaces. What waits for you in the pause between breaths? What gifts arise where you are now and where you want to be? Where is comfort available even within discomfort? The Hanged One holds space for you to sit with all of these questions. Then for body, so this reads fantastically for me. These cards really connect. This one not as much. I'll talk more about it later, but these two just really hit the nail on the head in terms of resonation. So for body, I got Lady Slipper and connection. When you are feeling weary, exhausted, and disconnected from your earthly pursuits, Lady Slipper can help to restore your soul's connection to your physical body. She will help infuse your daily life with guidance and intuition directly from the divine source, so that you can fully enjoy and participate in life, inhabit and explore your sensual body, and walk the path your soul intends. Connection has a lot of meanings: connection to others, our family, our friends and communities, as well as the world as a whole. Connection with spirit, our intuition, our inner wisdom, and connection with ourselves, our physical bodies. We also exist in and are connected to an ever-expanding web of consciousness, but we are bound by our senses and physical perceptions within it. No wonder we easily lose connection. Being embodied can be hard work. Not only do we have to nourish our bodies, we have to keep them warm and dry, active and engaged, and that's only the basic physical needs. Add in our emotional need for companionship, for community, for love and purpose, and it is easy to see how difficult it can be. No matter what our life circumstances and challenges are, we all know exactly what it means to suffer. And this is further compounded by the fact that in our world, our everyday reality is based on the illusion of separateness. From birth, we are in competition for resources, for recognition, and in pursuit of the elusive concept of happiness. This is survival mode, and in this place we may find ourselves in physical and emotional pain, or find it hard to meet our basic needs. We may feel trapped, powerless, isolated, and disconnected, and unable to see beyond our own immediate suffering, let alone have the capacity of recognizing anyone else's. we have forgotten one of our most important truths. Lady Slipper helps you to remember and strengthen your connection with all that is. She helps you remember your higher self, your own wisdom and built-in support system, which is always available to you, always connected to you, always guiding you as needed. If you look at Lady Slipper's flowers, they have tall, straight stems, and the actual bloom hovers way above the leaves, which grow powerfully up out of the base. It's a perfect visual representation or reminder of the connection between your spiritual thinking, knowing self, represented by the bloom with its thinking cap, and your earthbound physical body, represented by the leaves. You are spirit and you are body, and your soul knows exactly what to do. When do you feel disconnected? Connected. Affirmation: I navigate my life with ease, remaining open and connected to my higher self and divine guidance. And in the place of spirit, I got Fire Opal, which is gorgeous. I'm actually going to look up fire opals after this because these colors are doing it for me. Technically named the Precious Fire Opal, this is a forest where light plays through the trees, refracting out into rainbows here and there, bouncing off the tree trunks and flitting away again. There are so many possibilities in the world out there. Allow inspiration and understanding to flow freely and crazily here. Find here is a passion of love for all aspects of life, which in turn fosters greater insight, ideas and creativity in your personal life, hobbies and even business. Just have fun with it and see what happens. So, like I said, I think all of them went gorgeously together. The energies were beautiful. I definitely got the messages softly, but I heard. These two, adore. This one I am unsure about. So it encompasses both like plant and crystal. For me, I have found that with oracles, I do prefer more of a write-up. I really want to get the author's intent, their reasons why they chose the artwork. Like I just need more from oracles than just some pretty pictures and a keyword at the bottom. This one in particular, you do need to look at the book because I don't know about you, but the font can be very difficult to see. So this was a Kickstarter deck. These are all, this is mass market. This is also an indie deck. So these two are indie, mass market. I am going to have to put this in my purgatory bin and do some deeper work with it to decide where it fits in my practice, if there's something that already has a similar space and energy, if it's something that really interests me and I want to continue to keep it. It is beautiful. Like I said, I love the artwork. The messages are lovely. They're just a little lacking. But I'm going to see maybe if I work with it in a different way, it might find another place. But that was my selection for this week. I hope that wherever you are having an enlightening morning, afternoon, or evening. And as always, stay wild, Star Child.